afternoon, beautiful people, and welcome to the Little Things We Can Do podcast. On this podcast, I will be talking about little things that parents can do to help their children navigate this crazy and beautiful world. Today's episode is going to be about parents intentionally helping their children navigate primary school. And I know a lot of parents may say, I send my child to school and the school should do everything. But as a parent, I think you should get involved, and the earlier you get involved, the better things will be. So here goes. So your little star is in reception. What can you do to help that child navigate reception? Now, your child should know their name. If your child name is John Brown, he need to know his name is John Brown. A lot of children have pet names that we call them sweet names at home. But when they need to know their names and they need to know their parents' name, their mom's name, full name, the dad's full name, and the nan, uncle, they need to know their names. You've seen children and that child get lost and they say, "What's your name?" And they don't know their name. Or you're calling the child name in school and the child don't know their name. Or what's your mom's name? Mommy. What's your dad's name? Daddy. Your child need to know mom's full name and dad's full name. Your child is in reception. They should be able to count, count 1 to 20, 1 to 30, know the numbers. So yes, they can count. You can call the numbers. Can you touch five? Can you touch four? Can you touch six? They need to really, really know their numbers and their letters. Most children, sorry, can sing their ABCs, L, M, N, a P. But then if you stop them, can they say that's a G, that's a H, that's a A? They should be able to know the letters, can say them and recognize them. Also, holding the pencil. Pencil gripping doesn't come easy to every child. Some children struggle with their fine motor skills, and it's something that they will learn over time. And you don't give up, you keep practicing, practicing. And as parents, if you write a lot around the child, you start show them, you model how to hold a pencil, they will catch it eventually. Some children take a longer time than others, but most children catch on eventually. The child should be able to dress themselves. And this is so important. You've seen children, they've gone to the bathroom and they're coming back and their clothing is not put on properly. Especially the boys, where they will pull up both their underpants and their trousers together. You should teach them to do it separately so they can, really get themselves ready after they've gone to the toilet. I know as parents we are rushing and we are so busy and we are rushing to get them ready in the morning, so we dress them. But I'm thinking on the weekends and at nights, let the child dress themselves. This will build some sense of independence. It will help you in the future and it build resilience. If they get it wrong, don't fuss about it. Make it easy. It's a laugh. You move on and the child will just learn from that. And they start to build some confidence. I can dress myself. And the child's shoes. It's the children walking after PE and they've got the shoes on the wrong foot. Put your shoe on properly. Show them that the inside and the outside. Show them the difference. No. So some of the things I've just talked about, they need to know their names, know their parents' name, know their letters, can recognize them, know their numbers, and dress themselves. Now, this is something I would say to any parent if your child is in nursery reception. I would say you should join the library. And the reason why, one, you have free books. Two, if when you start buying books for your children, because we're trying to cultivate reading is very important. Whichever language you speak, the ability to read that language, it opens endless possibilities. So buying books in the beginning from the pound shop or regular shop is quite cheap. But if you really want to cultivate the love of reading, having a library card is the best thing you can do. Because what that will do, you will have lots and lots of books, great books at your fingertips. And let's make it simple. If as a parent you decide that you're going to do 4 books every 2 weeks, so it's 4 books every 2 weeks. That's 8 book per month. And I hope I get my maths correct this time. 8 times 12, that's 96 books your child would have read for that year. That's a lot of vocabulary. You just imagine how much new words that child will know if they read 96 books per year. So if your child is in reception and they've read 96 books per year for the year, and then they get to year one, and you say, okay, we're going to take 5 books every 2 weeks. That's 10 book a month. That's 120 books for the year. Get them to year two. You say, okay, we're going to take 6 books. 6 times 2, that's 12. 12 times 12, that's 144, and so forth and so forth. So by you joining the library, you're cultivating the love of reading. You're cultivating the respect for the books, because these books got to go back to the library. You can bring them back. Other people can use them. But you are saying to your child, reading is valuable and it's cheap. In the UK, you have a library almost in every community. So it's quite easy to make some time. You go to the library every 2 weeks, get your child reading. So now your child is in year one. They've learned to dress in reception. Sorry, they've learned to dress themselves. They know the letters. They can write the numbers. They're learning to read. This is really exciting time. And parents, if you start helping your child in reception, as your child grow through primary school, you grow through primary school. And there's a lady I love to listen. Her name is Caroline Leaf, and she talks all about the brain. And one of the things Caroline Leaf is saying, that the brain is such a beautiful thing. As you start to go back into reception with your child and learn, your brain as a parent start to form new neural pathways. So it doesn't matter how old you are, your brain will start to function. New things start to be sparking in your brain, and you'll be helping your child. If you sit to help your child, say 10 minutes to read every day, that child is going to say, oh, my mom or dad is interested in my education. That's one. Two, you're encouraging the love of reading. Three, you get to spend that time with that child. I've found where I'll sit down to speak to my child about something, to do some maths for 10 minutes, and I get the whole lowdown of school. Who said what? Who did this? How I felt this. So you get yourself immersed into their day, spending time with them to do their schoolwork. You're getting yourself immersed into their day. The other thing is, if you recognize that your child love a certain subject, feed it. When my girls were young, I've got 2 girls, and the older one, she loved English. She would just read anything. So I fed her with books and books and books, and thinking and asking questions. Then when I have my younger girl now, she loved maths. So I fed maths. So you know your children, and whichever subject they really like, feed it. Because sometimes you're trying to develop everything and you lose out on one, feed the one they love. And the beautiful thing with maths, and it's something I did for myself with my girls, my children were count from 1 to 100 just by counting. Then we started counting by 2 to 100. I didn't say to them we're doing timetable, we just counted by two. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We just counted. When we got to 5, I did the Jamaican version. Let's count by 5. We said 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So my children thought it was a dance and sing. And we just counted by 5. We could count by 10. So teaching your children to count, you don't have to say anything about timetable or make it difficult. Just say we're gonna count by 2 today. We're gonna count, walk into the shop. You walk into the shop and you count. Put away your mobile phone. Leave the phone at home and walk to the park and count. On your way back, you count. So you're starting to develop things with your child. The other thing is, as you go through your day, point out things, new words, build your child vocabulary. And that's why going to the library is so important, because you would have been able to guide them the love of book, the love of the written language, how to touch the book, how to feel it, how to turn the page. It's a beautiful experience. You're trying to expose them to this as early as possible. Now your child is in year one. And in year one, they're expecting your child to be able to sit a little bit longer. And I've realized that we're having a generation of children who don't know how to sit without a tablet or the TV or the parent's phone. And I think as parents, we are destroying our children. If they can't sit for 10-15 minutes without being engaged by the computer or something, it's really, we're serving them a disjustice. And one of the things I think as a parent you can do is say to your child, get a timer. We're going to sit for 10 minutes, for 5 minutes, start very simple. We're going to sit for 5 minutes and we are going to read. And just sit with them and read, sit for 5 minutes. Then you probably put it to 7 minutes, then to 10 minutes. Because then you start building the ability for them to sit quietly or sit still or just sit and listen. They're constantly bouncing off the chair because they're watching the TV. So your child is in year one, they should be able to sit a little bit longer. Now in year one, you start to add things together. So one of the things I used to do with my children is have the little one line up everybody's shoes, put the shoes them in a pair and line, and we count them. So we count them by one, and then we count them by two. So now she's realizing that two makes a pair. So we used to count them 2, 4, 6. So in year one, they start to put numbers together. 4 things and 5 things make 9 things. So they start to do what they call the number bonds to 10. So your 2 and your 8 make 10. Your 5 and your 5 make 10. Your 3 and your 7 make 10. Your child is really starting to count now and do more. Just after the leave reception, they're starting to do the 3-letter words, the mat and the bat and the fat. So they start putting letters together. And that's something you can do at home. What I did with my children, I had the cornflakes box, your cereal box. I cut them in small rectangles and I wrote the 3-letter words on them. And I made my own flashcards because I didn't have money to buy flashcards. So I show my children the cat, the mat, the bat, the fat, the rat, and then you move on to other 3-letter words. So my children learn to read by me showing them things on flashcards. I created my own stuff at home while they were before she went to reception and while she was going to school. So in year one, they're doing a little bit more sitting down. They're doing a little bit more. They're doing a little bit more writing. They're doing a little bit more counting. They're expecting to do more. Put more letters together. And the other thing, when you're reading your books, you need to do the characters. If you could see my face, I'm grinning from year to year. If you read the books and you put all the different voices in, it makes it interesting for the child. And I know as adult, we lose what's the right word now? We lose the ability to read out loud is a skill because I lost it for many years. I couldn't read out loud because I haven't done it. So when they're very young, you practice it. Put in all the different voice. The bird says this, the pig says that. Put the voices in because it makes reading interesting for the child. It makes them think, and then it also opens the mind to the possibility of different sounds. So that's something you can do, and show them pictures in year one, your colors, in your shapes. You can start talking about 2D and 3D shapes. It doesn't matter. Have a conversation about it with your child. Go online and print off 3D shapes and cut them out. You just expose your child to endless knowledge is beautiful for the children, and they are so young. You can pack them full of knowledge. It doesn't matter. You don't need to wait for them to get to year 2 and 3. Pack them with knowledge. Have conversation with them. The other thing about when you're reading, one of the good things is to stop and ask the child, what's going to happen next? And this is where the child, it can be a laugh because they can go way off tandem, which is good. They're thinking, or they can be so precise. And when they get it wrong, you need to make such a beautiful fuss about it. Wow, you got it right. So if they go down in the house, what will happen? Oh, they might get eaten. They might find treasure. Help them to think outside of just what you're reading. This is you developing their thinking skill. So that's year one. They're dressing themselves, they know things, they can go to the toilet more confident. They're doing a lot more for themselves in year one. In year two, this is where we start using the term timetables, your 2 times table. And in the UK, they count the product. So they say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I am a Jamaican. We were taught 2 1s 2, 2 2s 4, 2 3 6. We were taught the full thing, the what multiply by what and the answer the product. But in the UK, they've done it differently. So start counting with your child by two, count by three. So you do your one, your body can count by one. That's quite easy. You count by two, so your two times, your five times, your 10 times. That's something you really can hone on because it's kind of easy to count. I did the rhythm before for five times. You 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. You're really getting a sense of play while you're learning your numbers. So your child is in year two and they're expected to write a little bit more. And I met a little girl, she was 8 years old. No, 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 no. Let's go back. She was about seven. And one of the things we realized, she could tell you something, but she couldn't give you more description. So I said to the mom, ask her to describe your car. And what describe mom's car? So the car is black. I said to her, give me more. The car's got four wheel. Give me more. It's got a bonnet. Give me more. It's got a boot. Give me more. Oh, the car seat is blue. Good. Give me some more. My mom's car's got radio. So by saying to them, give me more, you're getting short sentences. But if you can put those short sentences together, that's how you get a paragraph. So a lot of time you say to your child, you can ask a child a question, um, describe a light bulb. They'll say, oh, it gives light. Ask them to give you more. And that's when you develop their depth of knowledge and increase the ability for them to write more. Because when they get into year two, they're gonna start writing little stories, start reading, they start comparing different things in year two. So in year two, they're writing a bit more, they're knowing the timetable, they start doing topics. So I think one of your best friends when your child is in school is your child's teacher. Don't terrorize the teachers. We're not asking you for that. But we're saying go to school. So to them, what topics are they learning in science? What topic are they learning in history? Some schools will give you the entire syllabus for year two. Ask them. And then you can go home and watch videos with it and get your child engaged and start thinking about it before they get to school. If you say to them, what books are they reading in school? They may tell you. They would tell you, what are we doing in maths for this term? Find out, pardon me, find out what they're doing for maths and go home and help your child. You know, if you're a parent and you find it financially difficult to get like maths book, if you go to your school and you ask the parent, the teachers, could I have some homework for my child? Most schools are doing homework online. If you're unable to access it and access homework online because you might have a tablet, not a computer, ask if they could print off some homework for you. I don't think any teacher at any school will say, no, I'm not giving you homework. Ask them. Or if you have a friend who work at a school, you could ask them if they could print off some work for you. Because what this will do is that you have something at home for your child to work. So you're going to the library. So you're really getting your reading down, your English, your grammar and stuff. You could ask a school and they would definitely help you with some homework, some material to take away. You're going off for Christmas holiday. You could ask them, could I have some work so I can help little Johnny at home or little Sarah at home during the holiday, and the other thing, you can always pop into the works, that bookshop. The works does the most beautiful maths and English book. They've got them combined or they've got them separate. They're like 2.99. Invest in your child education. If you invest in your child education now, you will reap tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Because one other thing, a lot of parents are waiting for them to get to GCSEs. That time is a bit too late. Get invested in the primary education. Set them a standard that you expect them to reach. Tell them your expectation because the more you tell them what you expect of them, the better they will progress through school. Let your children know that you are interested in their education. It is vital that they know that you're interested. I know I've gone off on tandem. Let me pull myself back. So your child is in year three, and year three is very. They expect to know more. They should be reading more. They should be really honing into the timetables now, because at the end of year three and year four, you have the national timetable tests in this country. So your child should really be pushing their timetable. Pop into the pound shop. You can get a timetable chart for a pound. You should get two of those, one for the bedroom, one for the living room. When my daughter, the first one, she she was struggling with her timetable. And we said to her, me and her dad said to her one day, we'll pay you £20 if you can say your timetable from 2 to 10. She went off. For weeks we heard nothing about it. And then one day she came and she goes, I know my timetable from 2 to 10. And we were like, what? Do we have £20? Anyways, she stood before us and she recited the timetable from 2 to 10 completely. We gave her the £20. Then we said to her, okay, if you can go off and you can say from 2 to your 12 times, sorry, we'll give you another £20. She went off. Another couple of weeks passed. She came back and she learned her timetables. And from then on, her maths has never turned back. Because if you learn your timetable, maths is the foundation. Sorry, I had it all mixed up. Your timetable is the foundation for maths. And I tell you why. Tell you why. If you can do your timetables quickly, you can add. Because timetable is just you adding the same number over and over. So if you can say your timetable quick, you can add. The opposite of your timetable is divide. So if you can come down quickly, you're dividing. So multiply is to add, as divide is to subtract. If your child master their timetable, this is king in the maths world. If your child master the timetable and the concept of it, maths is beautiful. They just fly because they've got the foundation. So your child is in year 3. They should be reading bigger books, books with more meat, less pictures, books with more of a story base and a plot and characters. And now start asking your child, who is the bad character? Who is the goodie? Who is doing something wrong? Get them thinking about it. Compare one story with the other story. So they're reading more, the timetable is down, they are they're a bit more confident in able to answer question, make inference, make reference to other story, make prediction. Prediction is very, very important because it tells that you're thinking ahead. You've gone ahead of your story. So your child is in year 3. Finishing year 3, the timetable should be locked. In year 4, at the end of year 4, you have your national timetable in this UK, in this country, in the UK. So your child needs to really, really know their timetables. In year 4, they should be reading a lot more. Can your child really write do a piece of writing, 2 paragraphs? Can they go back and correct themselves? This is something I realize a lot of children struggle with, to go back and find the mistake that they've made. And a lot of parents, you might feel like you should shout at them for the misspelling. Don't shout at them. Just take it sentence by sentence and help them to master this skill. It's a good way to do that. Give them a story, give them a line. Say, okay, write me a story about a shoe that can make you run very fast. So give them something to write. And you just want 2 paragraph or 3 paragraph. Then you go back with them as a parent and sit and help them to correct it. They might spell some words incorrectly. That's fine. Help them to correct it. They might make a few mistakes. Just put the words in the right place. Laugh about it, because this is how they learn that, okay, I can make mistake and I can grow through this. Making mistake is not a bad thing. You grow, you learn, and the next time they should get better and better. So, help your child to write. Also, year 4, they started doing more individual subjects, doing more biology, they're doing history. Find out from the school what topics are they doing. Have conversation with your teacher. What can I do to help my son? What can I work on with my boy or girl? Because remember, you're investing in your little star today for their future. This is your child. You as a parent or guardian, you're investing in your children. So your child is finished year 4, they've gone into year 5, and year 5 is one of the biggest year for your child, because this is a year that this is the year that they will learn, the last year that they will learn things, because in year 6 you're doing a recap. So year 5 is a big jump. Now, a few things are happening. Your child is in year 5. Some of them start worrying about SATs, even though they're still in year 5. Some of them, their body start to change. So hormones are coming in. They're a bit more grumpy, and they are learning more. They expect to write 3 pages of story. They expect to do 10, 15 maths in class. They expect to compare more. They expect to do a lot more. So they might find it difficult. But bear in mind, you have been there with them since reception. So mommy and daddy, you are growing with your child. So when they get to year 5, you get to year 5, and help them to hone those skills, to read the stories aloud, make fun of the different stories that they write, compare the one they write last week to the one they write now. One of the other thing, if your boy or girl is finding it difficult to write their stories down, let them tell the story to your phone, so you tape it, and then you can help them write it. Because sometimes the child can verbalize what they want to say, but they find it very difficult to write it down. So get your phone and tape them. Tell me a story, they tape them, then you play it back and you help them to write it. This is you spending time with your future star. So for SATs, and I'm gonna say if your child is going into year 6, the summer, so they just finished year 5, so during that summer holiday, I would pop to the Works or Waterstones or wherever, whichever bookshop you find best and financially able. Go and buy your SATs book. Buy the maths and the English SATs book and start going through with them. Now your child might say, I don't remember that, or I don't know. That's fine. Find the topic. Go on YouTube, sit with your child, learn that topic with them, then go back to the work. And the beautiful thing about these books, these SATs book, at the back of it, there's the answer sheet and the working out. So you help your child work through it. Because what happened, a lot of time, parents start to fuss and they start to worry when the child get to year 6. Oh, SAT. That's putting too much pressure on you and pressure on your child. If at the end of year 5, end of year 5, so summer holiday is starting, go to the shops, buy the maths SATs book, buy the English SATs book. Sometimes you have different variation, buy them and take them home. And you got to do 1 page of maths each day, 1 page of English. That's all. Just take it really slow. So by the time they get back to school, you build their confidence. They start to see the question style. Because when you go to your SATs, the questions are presented a certain way. If the school will do the practice, and schools are good at that, they start to prepare them, they start to show them. Sorry, I lost my chain of thoughts. Let me go back. Schools are really good at this. They start to prepare your child for SATs. They start to show them the question. They start to talk to them about how they can get this better. But I'm saying, if as a parent, your child start to see those questions in advance, it reduce their stress level, it reduce your fear. And bear in mind, I keep saying this over and over, as your child, as your child grow through school, as a parent, you grow. And you're gonna start to see your confidence in the school world just rise. I'm gonna give you a joke. My daughter, she was in year 4, in the year 4 going into year 5, and I had the best idea, she's going to go to grammar school. I had the idea, didn't know when to start, so I started. I taught myself from scratch everything about the bond books. I went on YouTube. I used to go YouTube the night before. In the morning, my daughter thought I was Superman. She didn't realize I was cramming all night on YouTube just to help her the next day. So I'm telling you, parents, the confidence you feel when you can help your child through school, I cannot put figure on it. It's just the best thing. So you start to feel that value. I'm adding value to my child. I see children coming into school and they're wearing name brand shoes and everything, and the child can't read. And I'm thinking the price for that shoes could have bought some books. Invest in your child education. That's the best thing as a parent you can do. We buy them food, we buy them clothes, whatever. But investing in their education, oh, parents, you get your return again and again, fourfold over and more. I'm going to wind down this podcast, and I really, really hope that you have get some insight from me today. This is my first podcast, so I've fumbled a lot and I've made a lot of mistakes. This is about the third taking I've done, and I'm going to try my best to do one of these per week and put them out. And I really, really hope you can find value from the little things we can do podcast. This is Nisha signing off. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for listening. Bye.